I'm going on that trip that we talked about. I'm going to go in a few weeks after I request time off work and I get myself situated, like packing the car, making a list of things I need, yada yada, you know. You're always so better at that than me. I'm going to shave my face because I feel like a caveman. But I know it's been a long time since we talked, since the breakup. I guess I'm doing this just to process my feelings further. I don't know if I'm going to send this to you or not, or I'm going to show it to you. I think I'm going to try to show it to you if I can. I think you'll understand this is just how I process things. I miss you. This is a anniversary gift. That was cute. She painted that. In the back, I threw these the other day because I was mad. I've been here for a little while, by the way. If you haven't noticed. I just haven't been feeling like recording. This dinosaur she gave me as a gift. Because I was working at this hotel and we would... it was only an hour away so we could drive together, but drive to see each other, but it was so hard, and she gave me this little plushie. And she gave me this plushie. So I keep them there. I did throw them earlier, but I was just mad. These are all my movies. This is my backpack that I had when I was homeless that I've just kept. This is a painting or a picture that my friend Deanna drew. This is a shirt from Jerusalem that my old chef gave me. I'm too scared to open it. I know it's just like a shirt and like you're supposed to wear it, but I'm just too afraid of God to open it, so it's gonna say closed. These are nice little shots of like videos I've done in the past. I've been doing this for a while. Nothing like this, just like silly little things. These are all my friends. And I just like, I've always, I've got like candid moments, so I just make a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's for you, then go ahead.
Yeah. It is more so, I suppose, for me than her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I still want to give it to her.
Yeah, well, it's nice to give to things, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It is a nice gift.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to see that you put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, exactly. I took your advice.
What was that?
A long time ago, you taught me to write on my SD cards and like write on my little things.
Yeah.
So I'm using this on that trip. So
Cool.
like all my SD cards and all my SD card like little plastic cases, they all have like the names of what I'm using, and so I just switch them out really quickly.
That's sweet because then
Yeah.
you just, everything has a place.
Yeah, everything has a place and everything has like organization. I find that like the best thing I can do is just be as organized as I can be. But here, I'm kind of nervous. Did I tell you about that weird dream I had?
No, it was the dream.
Okay, I had a dream that like I was at some kind of party, or I don't know where I was exactly, but I was talking to this drug dealer, and like I was asking this drug dealer to like take my number.
Okay.
For like drugs and stuff, right? And I was really feeling like fiendy and whatnot. I think like my anxiety and nervousness of the trip were like culminating to like wanting to do drugs in my sleep, you know?
Yeah.
Because obviously that just happens because I'm a drug addict. But
Yeah.
the cool thing is like like after I wanted to do the drugs and after like I felt like very, I don't know, insecure about it, right? About my sobriety.
Yeah.
I immediately told the drug dealer I said, hey, make sure you never sell this person drugs, by the way. And he's like, who? I'm like, me. Don't sell me drugs. If I call you, hang up. Don't sell me drugs. So it was like my higher power saw that like my addiction was bothering me and it was like, hey, by the way, don't sell drugs to this crackhead. I don't know. I just want to give her something.
Let's be so romantic, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
Are you into romance? Are you a big?
I'm into romance. You know, my thing with relationships is they're a lot of work. And I mean, if you're willing to put that in, dude, fucking good for you, dude. That's a great thing.
Yeah, we've had some ups and downs. Like honestly,
Everybody does.
honestly, the last time I saw her, like we were fighting a lot, and just it sucks, you know. It just
Yeah,
sucks like a fight because we did this long distance thing, then we did an open thing, and then it was just a lot of like back and forth fighting. Like, and at some point in time, we just turned to like I wasn't in love with her anymore, but I was holding on to the person she used to be.
But you still feel that way?
I had a dream that I did a bunch of drugs, and I woke up feeling terrible because I was still like really tired, and it was like 3 a.m. and I thought I relapsed, so I text my friends in the night that I used, and they got panicked, and they were like, "Whoa, what happened?" Da, 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 like this morning. And then I realized it's like, whoa, that was a dream. And then I had to text him like, sorry, that was a dream. My bad. I keep texting her phone, Michelle's phone. She doesn't reply back, but I don't know. I should probably stop. It's creepy, but I just miss her and I want to tell her things, you know. I just like sending like dumb things, like hope.
It was a little unusual. We actually broke up and then got together after 26 years. And long distance relationships suck. They're really hard because you're alone all the time. And we finally couldn't do it anymore. It was after 26 years, we got together again. He was a different person, I was a different person, and it was almost like this fantasy of what this person would be like. And we both changed. And 26 years later, we got together, went together for 7 years. Him flying in from Florida, I'm up here in Vancouver. That had an end. That was it.
I think I'm just lonely. I don't know, I just felt really lonely and angry that I didn't have anyone.
Heart was racing like 200 miles an hour, right?
I hope I wasn't projecting that on her. I hope I wasn't putting the burden of her making me feel less lonely
So
as a form of some kind of
you could
love.
easily have died on the spot.
It's a surprise thing. Like we broke up, so I'm making this.
Yeah.
So that I want to give it to her, I guess.
All right. Yeah.
so-
Okay.
So I want to like kind of tell her some things that like we couldn't before, and I can't talk to her right now. So I want to like film it all and then I don't know, play it for her, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you in a relationship?
I am not in
No?
a relationship.
No.
I was married, and I broke up with, like, we're not divorced yet, but we split up
Really?
about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What's if you don't mind me asking, like what?
What caused it?
No, you know what? Honestly, I don't really need to know that.
No.
How did you know? Because you guys were in love at some point.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
How did you know you were in love?
So for me, I knew I was in love was when you just always want to be with the person,
Yeah.
and yeah, you just always want to do stuff with them. Obviously in every relationship there's going to be bad times and good times, but yeah, like we sort of it was mutual, but I was feeling like for a long time that the bad times were starting to outweigh like the good times and stuff like that. And we were both, because we got together when really young, like we met in high school, and then we dated until like we were like 22, got married, and then was together. When we were married for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then we broke up. So we did do all that stuff really young. So I think we both just changed as like people. And I'm like a big thing for me is not, if you wanna, I don't wanna ask people to change for me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, it was just our time was up. Like, you know what I mean?
Were you scared though to like let go?
Of course, because technically our relationship was 10 years because like 5 years of dating and 5 years of marriage,
Definitely,
you know? So, yeah, I was scared because like our identities were sort of molded together, right?
Yeah.
And like when we did, like eventually when I moved out of the house and all that sort of shit, like I had no clue what my purpose was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like kind of just working and drifting and didn't know what the hell like my purpose was, like, you know? And even now, like I still don't really know what like my purpose is, but it's getting better, like, you know. Like I think because I've been traveling for about 4 months now.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
solo, so yeah, like being by yourself with no, like obviously like your friends are contactable and stuff like that, but like I don't know, being by yourself without any external influences, you sort of are forced to talk to yourself in your head,
Yeah.
and then it gives you like new perspectives and stuff like that without any external influences and stuff
I think
like
that's
that.
my biggest problem is that I'm really bad at reassuring myself.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at reassuring myself because like when like my ex-girlfriend who I'm visiting in LA, like she was really good at reassuring me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like really hard for me to reassure myself now that she's not here.
Yeah.
And like, but I'm trying really hard to, when I see her, not to need her to reassure me that things are going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I see her, I want her to know that things are okay because she'll see me and I won't have to tell her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
I know what you mean.
I just, yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason why we broke up was we were fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's because like it's hard to explain now that like I think about it. Like it's so simple in my head, but like when you say it out loud, it's just hard.
Yeah.
But like how we broke up was we'd be fighting a lot.
Yeah.
And then at some point in time, like what she wanted, what I wanted was like too hard for either of us to do.
Yeah.
And so we would just try to make things work.
Yeah.
But then when like the littlest thing like went wrong, it would like snowball into this big horrific fight.
Yeah.
And then like it started to turn into like not just fighting, but just like hating one another.
Well, it's resentment, right?
Yeah,
Like,
resentment, exactly.
Because you're trying to like, that's why I don't want to change other people, because even if you try to change a little bit of someone, they're going to be like, oh, you made me do this because you wanted me to, and then they start resenting you and then all that sort of shit, like, you know?
That's exactly what happened, because like we had fights where she would say, well, I'm doing all this.
Exactly.
I'm doing all this. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I did all this.
Yeah.
And so it was like a competition.
Exactly. And that's the worst thing to do in like relationships.
Yeah.
Is like owing favors. You should never have to owe favors in a relationship. Yeah, like with a relationship like you love, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks for the talk.
No, it's
It was
good,
nice.
man.
It was
It's all
good seeing
good.
you. I hope my trip goes well. I hope your trip goes well too.
Yeah, I hope your trip goes well too, man. We're both lonely boys.
Continue on Alberta 16 for 3 kilometers.
You're good to go. Everything's fine.
Thank you.
Safe journey, eh?
Yeah, thank you.
I'm doing good. My sobriety's in check. I've been thinking about my ex-girlfriend a lot lately. Resentments are hard, especially when our entire relationship was just full of them. I was in my active addiction when we were together. That being said, we would fight a lot. I had a lot of hate for her as she was trying to get me clean. She would always stand by my side, even after I failed her. She would just be there the next day. But when I got sober and I was living in sobriety, there was a built-up hate I had for her that my addiction wrote as a narrative for her, as a defense mechanism. And of course, I knew that was crazy and those feelings were invalid, but that hate, that coping mechanism would pop its head up whenever we would fight. And sadly, we never really closed that door.
But being honest with your partner when things are not going well and you're not feeling right, that's when you need to be the most communicative and say, I'm not feeling good. Well, you know, what can I do to make this better? What can we do as a couple to make things better? Yeah. You know, and to work through the hard times, because there's going to be lots of hard times.
I watch her TikToks time to time. It's the only way I can see her right now. It is creepy, but I just It's not like I can FaceTime her. So, this is the only way I can see her.
The Handlebar Extended Edition.
I only watch the ones I've already seen and the ones that I've already liked.
The Runaway.
Just because the ones she made
And finally, the photo negative.
after we broke up, they're just hard to watch, and I'm not ready to watch that person yet, because that person's completely different than the person that I fell in love with, I guess. I'm really bad with change, and I'm fixated on when we were okay. I'm just not ready to accept
The kind of people
that change yet.
Are always, without a doubt, the creepers and the weirdos. Now I don't know why.
She liked beaches. She would have loved this, to be honest. She would hate that music blaring in the background, though. She would say something about that. I'm sure she'll say something when I tell her. I'll show her all this footage. And then she'll definitely have something to say about that fucking music blasting.
I had this moment last night where it was like 10 p.m. and it was dark, and I'm here doing this alone. And I had a moment, I was like on a writing. I was in my room, just hanging out, and there's no one in the bunks with me, and I was completely alone. And I got really sad, and I started missing her. And it made me feel like, was I projecting my loneliness onto her? And I feel bad about that. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if you are putting burdens on someone. How do you tell that? How do you?
You have to make a decision in your life to fight the urges and wants for companionship and be about yourself. Be alone. Embrace the loneliness, the pain, and really figure out your way through it. And once you've done that, and everything falls into place because you know what you need, you know who you are, you know what kind of person you need to be with. But until you do that, I think it's all a crapshoot, man.
I feel like living separate and living I live alone and stuff, and I think that made a big difference for me too, because I always had roommates, or I was always living with the person I was with, so having hanging out on the weekends and going home, and then a couple days later saying I miss you, and you have that you want to see them, and you want that feeling back around and stuff, so that's.
You have to fight your fears head on, man. If you feel lonely, if you're that type of person, you gotta get into that, man. You gotta deal with it. You gotta be lonely, and then somehow find a way to be lonely and happy, not lonely and sad, because it's achievable.
I was so chaotic, and now I'm just I just find power in being still and just observing and being calm. There's power in that.
I think this is more for me than her. I don't think she needs this. I think she's strong enough to just be okay. I think I'm the weak one, and I just need to do this. I've always been really worried about my life. I've always been really scared about what I'm going to do. And things that are going slowly, I have no patience. I've had an addiction since, I don't know, forever. Since I was born, I guess. And that being said, I spent from 16 to 29 or 16 to 27 doing drugs and just getting fucked up. So I feel like I have a lot of time I have to make up for. And I kind of took that on her. When she'd want to visit and hang out, I would just be so focused on my work. And I'd be too busy to see her. And then when she went to go do a camp job, because she was a journeyman electrician, things just got worse. And I just kept going, grinding, moving. And then all of a sudden, boom, we just broke up. through me trying to achieve everything all at once, we lost how we used to talk. And now I'm here alone in these woods, surrounded by all this nature and beauty, but still feeling so lonely. So yeah, I am doing this for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to watch this. And I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put it together. And I'm going to have some kind of weird closure.
Vomit stains from him eating it back up and then barfing it somewhere else. And a hole in the carpet because he ate that too. We are gathered here today to recount one of the most...
When I don't have the body, will you love me still? When I feel nothing, when I don't have the will, the lights in my eyes flicker. Will you love me still? Be the warmth when I shiver.
We broke up 3 years ago. I feel like a coward because I didn't see her or try to talk to her after that. Only recently, when it's too late to talk to her, that I've tried to talk to her. It's only of recent, during this trip, that I've tried to make any kind of connection. Breakups are hard. Grieving's hard.
Yeah, I was scared because like our identities were sort of molded together, right?
Embrace the loneliness, the pain, and really figure out your way through it.
Because you're losing someone, that person's just gone. And that really hurt when I had to grieve for her. I think this road trip's been nice because I've been doing it all by myself, alone. And it's a road trip that we wanted to go on. I'm scared of being alone. It's easy to get comfortable when you have someone to give that burden of loneliness. You don't really have to think about how much you can't be with yourself. You don't have to really think about how much you don't like yourself or hate yourself when you have that unconditional love from someone. You don't learn or grow as a person when someone doesn't really, when you know you can get away with your shortcomings, with your flaws of character. It's a really hard burden to carry. It's a really terrible thing to give someone, that job. I took it for granted. I took her for granted. I wouldn't say I'm there yet, to that place where I can be alone. But when I sit there, when I'm just there alone, I do feel that. I feel all those things that she loved me for, in spite of those shortcomings I had. And then they fester into anger. They fester into insecurity, into resentment and regret. I'm sure she'll understand. She always does. I'm sure she'll understand why it took me so long to get here. And I'm sure she'll be excited to see me. Still. Today we're gonna go see her. We're gonna go visit. I guess what else I've been doing is I've been editing
right? Because like I want to give it to her, so we're so if she's not like, I don't know, the vibes are off, that like I don't want to like show it to her or be there with her, then I could just give it to her. So whoa, meta. I've decided to put pants on and no Crocs. Crocs are over there. I know she'll hear me out, but I just hope I get some kind of response. I guess that's what my biggest fear was when seeing her, was I know I'll be mostly talking to myself. So it would just be nice if I had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of response. Yeah, okay. Just gotta set up the tripod.
You say you love my heart, but you don't know my soul. And I've been waiting so long to feel whole. They say no one can save me but me. I wish you could save